Hi everyone. So in this video we'll talk about the previous week. We'll go through the market profile, 15 minutes candlestick chart, 5 minutes chart, and then footprints. And we'll talk about the plays that were available during each day, and we'll see the setups. Okay. So in front of your screens you can see market profile. These colorful sessions are overnight sessions, and others with orange line are US sessions. Okay. So and this is the start of our week. So now let's see what information we have from the previous week. So we moved up, and then we broke the one-time framing, and then we started shifting the value area down, and then we set up the value area in the FOMC day, and again we started shifting the value area up, and now we kind of bracketing in the center, and we really need more information to predict where the market is going. Okay, so now let's see this day. On Monday we opened imbalanced, okay, and then we did the break of initial balance to close the gap. Okay, so now let's see 15 minutes chart. This is 15 minutes chart. This is previous day high, this red line, and this initial balance high, and this initial balance low. Okay, you can see that we got a stressed move from overnight, and we start moving down in pre-market. We had a home sales report at 10 o'clock, and we can see that we are still not able to close above this level, and this is setting up as initial balance high. And the real sign of moving down comes into play when we close below this news candle, okay, or news base, and then we did the breakout of initial balance low, and we got a pullback over here, and we finally closed the gap. Okay, so now let's see 5 minutes chart, 29th. Okay, this is news candle. We closed below the news candle, and then we did the breakout of initial balance low. We got a pullback over here, and we closed the gap. Okay, now let's see the footprint charts. 29th. Okay, so we got a selling candle in the pre-market. We are hovering over here. This is from news. These are stop outs, and then we move down, and now we did the initial balance low breakup. See the activity of selling, and we are going up, still holding the activity. There is no activity in this move up, and now you can see here we are continuing the break of initial balance low, and we got a really good opportunity for passive execution. See here, when it reached initial balance low, the buyers got observed. Okay, and this was our chance to get into the trade, and we closed the gap. Okay, and then we moved up. Okay, now what information we have from this day? That we closed the gap, we are holding the value area, but still we are bracketing in the center, and we really don't have clear information where the market is heading to. But there's one thing to notice from this day. I think this was previous Friday. We can see that the VPOC of this day is really holding well. Okay, you see the overnight low over here, and this was Monday. We again holded the VPOC after closing the gap, and in the overnight session we are again holding it. So now you can really make a plan. If we this is the day, this is Tuesday, before going into this session, you can really build some plan that if in the first hour or anytime, if you are reaching to do the breakout of previous day low, you can, if the breakout was failed breakout, you can take a trade to the opposite side of initial balance, okay, or to the HOD. So now let's see what happened. It happened in the same way. We formed a really small initial balance, okay, energy build up. This was month end, and we tried doing the breakout of previous day low many times, and then finally in the late day, maybe after 1 or 2 o'clock, we got a directional move, which is quite normal on the month end days. Okay, and now let's move on to 15 minutes chart. Okay, let's move this previous day low. Let's move this down and move the initial balance low over here, and initial balance high over here. This day also we were having jolts at 10 o'clock. Okay, we opened balance, we had a jolts candle, There's no candle that closed below the Joel's candle except for this. Okay, the first attempt we tried to do the previous day low breakout and we failed, and we went to other side. Okay, but still we are not able to do the initial balance high break, plus we are not able to close above the Joel's candle. So this energy build up, we are still going up and down to a trading real scalpers paradise. Now late day, we got an initial balance high break. How this break is different from this break? You could have taken the break, the long trade over here also, but you would have lost the money and you couldn't have entered over here. Okay, but what is the difference that we should take this trade, not this one? First, this is month end, so the move will come after 1 or 2 o'clock. Okay, and over here the Trump was speaking. Okay, we got absorption over here and then we moved down. So we shouldn't take this trade. And see the volatility also. Do you think that if there is energy build up and we do the breakout with this kind of volatility, that the breakout will be successful? No guys, the less volatile breakouts are not good breakouts. Okay, on this we can see we have good volatility and we closed above the initial balance, and we got a real good passive execution opportunity for moving up towards previous day high. Okay, now let's see on 5 minutes. See this one and this one. This candle is having really good volume and delta, but Trump was speaking and got observed, and we got real exhaustion over there and we moved down. But let's see here, this is not caused by Trump, and we closed above the initial balance high, and we can really take this trade towards upside. Okay, now let's see the footprint chart. Okay guys, now let's see here, we really kind of planned that we'll take the trade when the previous day low is a failed breakout towards the other side. Okay, you can see here we did the breakout, we closed below the previous day low, but we couldn't extend the low of the break. Okay, and we moved up. Okay, second time same thing, we broke, couldn't move down and went up. Third time we broke, we couldn't extend the low and we moved up. And here we did the initial balance high break with a really good volume delta, and we are now holding buyers are holding, and we are building activity over here to move further up, and we have extended the high also. Okay, and then we moved up. Okay, let's move to next day. Now what information we have got? We have kept the value area in the same area. Okay, but we have got a late action move, and this is engulfing day, and we have closed upside, which is a really strong sign of buyers. Okay, so we'll see in the overnight. We can see that we again did the break of previous day low and we moved up, and we are opening balance now. Okay, the size of initial balance is relatively good or small, so we have a little bit of opportunity of getting into a trend day, but the real key is accessing the breakout of previous day high. Okay, so now let's see 15 minutes. This one. This is previous day high, and we got some news on this day also for I think at 9:45 and 10 o'clock also. Okay, let me check. 1st of October. Yep, we got PMI on this day. Okay, so 9:45 and then 10 p.m. 10 o'clock PMI, and we see this candle closed above the news high, and this gives us a sign that we are moving up, but we need a really good confirmation that we are moving up towards the previous day high break, and finally weak high break access. Now we got a breakout of initial balance high, we got a pullback, and then we went up. Okay, easy and nice trade. Okay, let me take out this. We closed above the initial balance high and then we moved up. Okay, now let's check footprints. Okay, these stop loss are from news. You got a break off. See the real volume building up, guys. This is the release of compression, and then we started holding the initial balance high and we got a good breakout. Okay, see the activity over here. Okay, and we went upside doing the break of previous day high, and then we went up to the week high. Okay, and then close. Now we have got real confirmation that yes, the value area has moved up. We have got trending day, we got an engulfing day with a strong close, then we got a trend day, and then yes, now we are moving up. Okay, now it's a day 2 trend. If the day is opened in balance, then it's kind of no trading day because the range is very less and overnight has already extended the high. But on this day we opened imbalanced, so we had an opportunity to reach out to the fill of this single prints and might be this single prints also. Okay, let me mark the this level, and we can see that found a very small initial balance, and we closed the gap, started trading in previous day range, and we closed the we traded below the VPOC, we broke the VPOC, and we filled the low volume area, but we got a tail, and we couldn't move below 43s, and we again came back to initial balance, or we again touched the previous day high. Okay, now let's see 15 minutes. Let me here, week high will remain there, initial balance high and initial balance, oh, the week high and initial balance low is almost same. Okay, so we open imbalanced, we close the gap in the first 15 minutes. That's a really good opportunity to take a shot, and then we tried a lot to close above the previous day high, but we couldn't, and then we accessed week high, we touched it, we broke it, and then we filled the low volume area, and we got a tail or absorption below the break of that engulfing day high. Okay, and then we again moved towards the previous day high or inside the initial balance. Let's say 5 minutes. Okay, so in the first 15 minutes, this third candle is still a part of 15 minutes, and see the real volume delta, guys. And we tried to close above the previous day high, but we couldn't, and we found a block over here, and then when we broke the block, we saw the continuation, and we got a tail over here, and we got a tail over here, and then we moved up again. Now let's see footprints. Okay, we closed below the previous day high. Okay, and then we tried to move up, but still the activity is not able to move up the previous day high. Okay, and this was real delta opportunity that the buyers are not getting successful and are getting even more trapped. And then we moved to week high, we did a really good breakout of week high, and then we fill the low volume area, and see this tail, guys, at below the 43s or at 43s. We closed above the activity, we filled the imbalances, and then we moved up. Okay, so now what information do we have? We bracketed in the center, and we have moved the value area up even on this day. We fill the LVA, but we still hold it. Okay, now it means that the market has managed the stability, and we are moving up. Okay, now this is a real special day, guys. Friday again, I think again we have the NFP was cancelled, and we have ISM PMI at 9:45 and 10 o'clock. Okay, so now if you see this overnight action, let me show you one more chart. This is a market profile chart, but different settings. Okay, and 1 minute. So I call this profile as a Christmas tree profile. Okay. This is before 6 o'clock or 6:30. You can see this. The volume was built over here. This has a real like a similar shape to Christmas tree, not perfect. Built a volume over here, and we got a tail over here. Now if we want a continuation, we need a good breakout with volume with continuation. Okay, and downside there will be liquidation. And for example, if we have managed to stay here and then we do initial balance low breakout, that will be a real sign of liquidation continuation, and we can take a good downside trade. Okay, and you can see this is the initial balance from 6:30 or 6 o'clock to 9:30 before the cash session. And you can see the size of this initial balance, it's a little bit large or larger, which shows that in the first hour, at least for the first hour, we'll have rotational market. Okay, plus we have got the news, so we have to be really patient not to click in the first hour unless you have a good scalping talent during the release of economic releases. Okay, so now let's move to 15 minutes. Okay, this is initial balance high, this is previous day high, this is initial balance low. Okay, so we already got some liquidation during the pre-market from that Christmas tree profile. Okay, so in the first hour we are just waiting what happens. So on the break of overnight high, we really need a good break for the continuation higher, otherwise there will be liquidation. Okay, so now let's see. In the first candle we didn't touch the overnight high. In the second candle we touched the overnight high and we couldn't stay there, and we moved up, moved down. A little bit of liquidation, but still at 10 o'clock we had data. And then this candle closed above this data candle, and that is a little bit of sign that we are moving up for the breakout of overnight high. And this candle did the breakout of overnight high and initial balance high, and ATH made during pre-market. Okay, so we came down, passive opportunity to go to whole number, that is 6,800. Okay, came down, then got observed, and then moved up. Okay, and as soon as it approached to 6,800, it started again moving down, and we closed below the initial balance high, but we still closed above this. So still we'll have to think that if we can take this trade or not, because there's too much of risk. You will have to place a stop loss over here. Okay, in the next candle we closed below the previous day high, we closed below this candle, we closed below this candle. Now we will see liquidation. Now there is a real telltale sign that you can get in for accessing the weak high, because we should at least go to initial balance low and do the breakout of initial balance low. Okay, so now we got opportunity over here, and we can place a stop loss over here or a little bit above initial balance high, and that's the right to weak high, and we failed to close up below the weak high, and then we moved up again. Okay, now let's see on footprint chart. On the footprint chart you can see that we did initial balance high break plus overnight high break, and we got a pullback over here. See, the activity of sellers is not able to get hold, and we moved up, fill the imbalances, and we reached to 6,800, and then we start moving down. Really good breakout of initial balance high, and this activity got failed, and this holded the activity, and then we moved down. Nothing really highlighted when we did the breakout of week high. Okay, and then we started moving up. Okay, so out of 5 days we got really clean breakouts of initial balance. For 4 days, 4 out of 5 days we really got good opportunities, and one of the days was this, on which the main opportunity was accessing or filling the low volume area. Okay, so on Monday let me increase the days count. So a little bit of recap. On Monday we did the initial balance break and fill the gap. On Tuesday, that was month end close, we did the breakout of initial balance high and we broke previous day high. And on next day we did the initial balance high break and we again did the breakout of previous day high and even did the breakout of week high. And on this day 2 trend, we did the initial balance high break, initial balance low break, and we filled the LBA. And on next day we did the initial balance high break, we reached to 6800, and then when we came back in initial balance, we again accessed the breakout of weekly high. So that was the week, guys. Hope you got good opportunities and best of luck for the next week.